Hello again. Here we are in another session of solving training tactical problems using chesstempo software. So white starts after black's last move, rook taking g4 as is mentioned here. So what do we see? Okay. We are in chess, so we have to move. This file is threatened by the rook, so it's impossible to move. Moving to h2 would be very bad because of queen takes f2 check. I can either move to h1 or f1. If I move to h1 again, I get a check from the queen on f3, and this is very bad because next move it's mate. So I am forced to move to f1. He takes my knight, and I will take the rook, and this solves the problem. Okay, so next exercise. Black just moved c3, threatening, of course, to advance and to crown either a queen or promote to another piece. Now it's our turn to move. So what can we play? We can okay, the bishop is protected by the knight. We can take the knight, and we always have time to stop the pawn. So let's say we take the knight, the pawn advances to c2. We can always get back to b2 and prevent the promotion. We even can get with the rook to e1. So I believe this should solve the problem. And now I will just take the bishop, and that's it. Okay, next problem. White has just moved rook to e4. So it's my turn to move. Of course, he threatens to take the pawn. But look at this row number 5. It's completely, the rook on a5 totally dominates this row. And if I go with the rook here to e8, I can take the rook on e4 because the king could not defend it. So next exercise, white moved rook d to e1. The notation means rook d because both rooks can arrive to e1. So rook d to e1, and not just rook to e1. So threatening the rook, but it's not a real problem because we can always take it with the bishop. That's it. Okay, let's do another one. Black has just moved knight to g4, and we are to understand what we can do. Okay. Please note that the knight on g4 threatens the pawn on f2. But we can take the bishop on c8, and if the king takes it back, we go with the bishop to e6, and it's a fork on the knight and on the bishop. And even if he doesn't take the bishop at the knight when we take the bishop, but moves to f2, I can always threaten him with the king, and either he moves with the knight and I move with my knight and I remain a piece ahead. Anyway, he will lose a piece. That's it. Next. Okay. Knight moved to b3, threatening my queen, but disregarding that I can just take it because my queen will hit the rook if a pawn will take the rook. Okay, okay. You understand that if I take it back, the queen takes the rook. So next one. Okay, this is an endgame position. The material is equal. Each side has a rook and a pawn, but the king made a very bad mistake moving to c4, to f4, because now I can threaten check and take his rook. If he would go to, let's say, h4, it wouldn't be possible. So I threaten the check and take the rook, and I'm a full rook ahead of white. Next. Okay, white move king to g2, and it's my turn. Okay. I can take the bishop, and then white has two possible moves. He can take it with the queen, but then I hit the rook with my queen, and I'm a piece ahead. Or he can promote the pawn to e1, to e8, and create a second queen. But then I simply take the queen with my knight, and if the rook takes the knight, I can take the queen. So this is the solution. I can just take the rook, and that's all. Okay, next one. Queen took g3, threatening mate on g2. What can I do? Okay, I can mate in one like this. Black has just moved rook to f8. But I will threaten the queen and the king. It's a fork. And I take it back. If black would move his king to h6, I would just take the rook, threaten the king with check, and then take the queen. All the other places, all the other squares are impossible for the queen because on g4, the pawn threatens, on f4, this pawn threatens, f5 and h5 are threatened by the rook, so the only possible square is h6, and then I take the rook with the queen, check, and then take the queen. So I remain a queen for a rook, and black's position is totally lost. Another one, black moved with his king to h7, but what is the problem? If I take the rook, the queen takes my bishop, and then I can come with the other rook to e1. Is this the best possible move? I don't see any other threat. Let's see it again. I took the rook and threatened the queen with my bishop. Black took my queen, I took his queen, and still I remain a rook for a bishop. This is a nice advantage. Okay. Again, an endgame, but even in the endgame, you have to be very, very careful. What are White's threats? First, this is a passed pawn, he can promote it, maybe. But I am nearer to the scene and I can threat. Let's see if I'm correct. No, this is not a good idea. I think that a good idea would be to advance with the pawn, because the only way that it can be stopped is by sacrificing the bishop. Let's see. Okay. Another one. Rook A to B1. Again, both rooks can arrive to B1, so it's mentioned rook A to B1. What can I do? Okay. Please note that this knight is protected by the rook and by the queen, but I am threatening the knight with three pieces, the rook, the queen, and the bishop. Of course, I will not hit it with the queen because the rook will take my queen and it will be very bad for me, but I can take it with the rook and with the bishop, and again, I have a nice advantage. A whole knight. Queen to e6. Okay, I just take the knight. And the last one for this session, number 15, queen goes to f7. And what will I do? Look, if I hit the knight, the bishop will take my bishop and everyone got a piece. But if I reverse the order, if I take first the bishop, he takes with the queen and I'm taking the knight and I am a whole knight ahead. I hope that you enjoyed this session and solve as many tactical problems as you can. It always improves your own capability, and it's very important in the first stage of playing chess to sharpen your tactical view.